everybody.
Oh shit! I didn't do anything to OBS and it crashed.
Well, that's always a good sign.
Awesome.
Okay, let's see.
Yes,
Let's see. Did I packed my Jan? It was awesome. I was in a meeting the other day, and Jan's like, "I think Grubb should get the Rode Wireless Pro microphones," and I'm like, "I was gonna buy those for myself."
Hell yeah!
And Backlar's immediately like, "Just buy them." I'm like, "No problem."
Did you already buy them?
No, but I immediately went and then bought them, and I bought a Wii U or a Wii sensor bar, so I could just pack that.
So you have bought the microphones?
Yes, they're in my bag right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna recommend you the ones that I got used at Evo, but I mean, if you got
what
those,
you use?
Yeah. The Holly Lark.
Yeah, the Holly Larks
wireless.
are pretty good. Yes, I like the ones I got are kind of idiot proof because they got that 32-bit float recording. Do the Holly Larks have that?
No, I don't think so.
I think everything else was like doesn't, and this is the one that does, and that's so I don't have to worry about peaking and stuff. I can just I don't have to set my gain. It's going to record at all volumes at the same time.
Do those have noise canceling on them?
I don't know if they have that. Would be a problem, but it's like I think with the 32-bit float, I'll be able to like kind of dial it in pretty easily in post, and that'll. That's
why I bought those for the convention. I was like on a show floor, being able to just press a button and turn on noise canceling. That's really nice.
I think these are what Jan used for the podcast. He just put those in the middle of the bed.
And they sound really good.
Yes, and it's because I think the 32-bit flow is what helped with that, because even when someone was loud and someone was quiet, you could normalize it and there was no distortion. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, I think we are looking good for this podcast. Are you boys ready to go?
I'm ready. I'm just fighting with a dog.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Of course you are. Actually, let me get this audio so we can test that.
I am
Please don't murder me.
changing this flight as we speak, but I can multitask and I'm almost done.
That's fine. I didn't test the audio. So, did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Okay, there's that. Let me tweet, and then we'll be good. Morning train. Man, I want to play that Super Mario Eclipse real bad too. And oh my gosh, I could
Can you believe that Dan is counter programming us?
Yes.
Is he playing it right now?
Fucking shameless bastard.
At least like the thing I want to play the most right now is just Castlevania, so that's gonna be easy to do.
Yeah, that's whenever I just keep turning it on, it's like right there. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is better than everything else.
Did you buy that shirt at the mall?
This?
Like one of those kiosks at the mall?
I would have. I got this at Meijer like 10 minutes ago for $12.
Nice.
So,
hell yeah.
Yeah. I put it on.
I'm so relieved I changed this flight. It's gonna be so nice to come
wait,
back.
now when are you coming back?
Like 6 a.m. on Monday morning.
Okay.
That's
That
when
might,
I leave.
that one. Oh, and if you're going to Pittsburgh for that, that's
I'm going to Pittsburgh though.
Okay.
But like it's basically a whole day early now, so thank God.
Yes. Okay. Boo.
I might just have to take Tuesday off or something. I don't know.
Yep. Man, this Elgato control center will not go away. Please just go away. Oh, whatever. I'll ignore it. Okay. I think I'm ready. Mikey, actually, Mike, can you just count to 3 for me real quick?
1, 2, 3.
Perfect. All right, let's start the show. I'm going to count us in and hit the button. Yeah, I
was going to say show.
Actually didn't tweet either, so let's do that. My baby rides the
hanky
train.
Oh, all right. I'll ask you something on the break.
Post and tweet.
I know I was going to have a big presence at PAX, Brogan.
Yeah, they're going to have Guilty Gear Strive, apparently. That kind of leaked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's banners up at the show floor that say Guilty Gear Strive Switch Edition coming soon.
Let's go.
So you don't have a Steam Deck, you can practice on the go. That's kind of neat.
Hang on.
This dog is really making me freak out.
Oh, is Red Racer going to be there? Cool. Why'd you laugh? Why'd you scoff? I heard you audibly scoff for some reason.
I just thought of something funny.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, we're going to go. I'm counting us in. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb, and with me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, PS5 Pro coming soon, according to rumors, and people are fighting about Wukong being a PlayStation exclusive or not. I don't know. Kind of don't care, but we're going to talk about it anyhow. But first, Mike, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, this is rough. I don't think I've ever been more in the mood to stay home and play video games, and that's the one thing I'm not doing this weekend.
I know.
I'm like, my mind and body are kind of preparing to stay home and play video games, Mike, and I'm not doing that. So I got to do something over here.
I know I'm not even going to sleep again before I go to Seattle. My flight is so early tomorrow.
Yep.
Part of me is like, maybe I should try to take a little sleep, but I feel like 2 hours of sleep is going to be worse than no sleep.
Let's lay out the ground rules real quick. Me and Mike both have very early flights. I'm leaving my house at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow. How about you?
So my flight's at 7 a.m. in Pittsburgh. It takes me
an hour to get
there.
State. Yeah.
Takes me an hour to get there. I'm also concerned because I do not have pre-check, and it's Labor Day weekend. It could be very crowded. I think I can't leave here later than 4 a.m.
Right.
Can't be later than 4 a.m.
Yes, absolutely. Latest is 4 a.m. So, quick show tonight. We're going to get through it. In fact, let's just do it. Let's get on with it right now. Thank you for joining us. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening and hit the like button on YouTube, please. It helps people find the show. If you want to ask a question, you can do that at any time by hitting the super chat button here on YouTube. We'll get to all of those before the end of the program. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. Thanks to 1UP vs. CPU for our artwork. You can find more at oneupversuscpu.com. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to Christian for producing. And you can get more from Mike and me and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to our Discord server, participation in our Q&A sessions and our Game Club discussions, early access to new episodes of Game Mess Jeopardy and Columbros, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. That's patreon.com/GameMess. All right. Friendly reminder, you can also become a supporter by becoming a YouTube member or Twitch subscriber. So feel free to do that here or anytime Mike's streaming. Subscribe to his Twitch channel. That'll get you all the same benefits. All right, Mike, big topics. Are you ready?
Yeah.
PS5 Pro announcement plans and console design have...
who wants that shit?
I've not been paying attention. Is that the vibe out there right now that everyone's I can tell you people seem to be pretty upset that the images they've seen from this leak only show a digital-only console. No disc drive. And we'll talk about that because I think there's some obvious caveats there. But basics are Bill Kuhn, pretty reliable leaker, seems to have some access to store materials, and whether that's backends for PlayStation Network or whatever, who knows? But they've frequently had this kind of information early. They say that they've seen basically the box for the PS5 Pro, and it is called the PlayStation 5 Pro. They've also seen what it looks like. They're not going to share the image of it because, of course, I guess that image would be copyrighted in some way. Either way, they're playing it safe. So what they've done is they've redrawn the PS5 Pro and put out that artwork. It looks a lot like what if a PS5 Slim was a Pro model. I mean, there's 3 lines on the side, whatever.
And more lines. I still think about the PlayStation 4 Pro, just having
one more line,
extra slice.
Yep. I honestly, it feels almost very similar in a lot of ways. They're this one has more lines.
It just went from a double cheeseburger to a triple cheeseburger.
Yeah, right. Dave's triple deluxe. Yeah, exactly. Listen, that image does not look like it has a disk drive. So people are saying, is this thing going to launch without the option to have a disk drive, or will there be a model that does not include a disk drive? Is it just this digital only version? And even if it is, it seems to work very similar to how the Slim model works. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have a Slim, but you can take one of those faceplates off, attach a disk drive, and put the faceplate back on.
I think that's right. I have a Slim right here. I don't know if that's the case or not. But I don't know. I get
I'll pull it up on
physical.
Now. Let's check in.
What? No, that sounds like work. It's on the floor. I'm not gonna.
That is correct, Jeff. And the default, at the factory, is to have the Slim, and then they add the disk drive.
Exactly. Okay. So, but let's play devil's advocate and say that this thing can't have a disk drive for some reason. Which, for the record, I really don't think that's the case. But let's say that's what's happening here. That's crazy, right? They're not doing that yet, PlayStation. I mean, I know that like people are, oh, this helps them keep the price down or whatever. Yeah, sure, but they know where their bread is buttered still with the audience that they have, and a lot of that audience still wants physical games, even if it is not the majority of the audience now, which I'm sure is arguable one way or the other. I have no idea. Even if it is, though, that's still a lot of money, and I don't think that they are ready to pull that Band-Aid off. It seems like instead they are just going to have this as an option so that people will maybe lean a little bit more digital, because that is what they want long term, it seems like. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really a chance of this being a digital only and there's no option for physical, right?
Yeah, there'll be something, even if it's not like immediately built in. There will be some way to connect some kind of disk drive to this thing, and I feel like that might become the option for a lot of consoles going forward now. Some kind of external or attachable accessory.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and there's been rumors and reports, according to Pikunagi, that there will both be a physical and digital version. My guess here is the model we're seeing is the digital version, and then there will be a bundle, just like the Slim, that comes with the disk drive, basically already pre-attached, and that's how they'll sell it. That seems to be the strategy going forward. In fact, I bet that's how it works for the PS6 as well. Like, this is just their way of doing things going forward. In terms of the PS5 Pro and its desirability, where are you at with that? I mean, there's no real new reporting on that as far as I could tell. That seems to be what we've heard, 45% increase to rasterized graphics. So, 50% increase in resolution / frames per second, kind of give or take, depending on what you're doing with either of those vertical bars. And then much improved ray tracing. But of course, how many games actually have ray tracing, right? So any of that stuff piquing your interest?
Gosh. I mean, look, I would love to have a more powerful PlayStation 5. I was probably about upset as anybody when pretty early on PlayStation 5 games were making, kind of compromises I didn't think I would have to be seeing yet. But I don't know. Like, the lesson I'm taking from that is more just that, yeah, I guess that's just the way it's going to be. Like, I don't want to become, and I know some people like are tired of hearing everyone be like, just play PC games, right? But part of me is like, well, they release all these things on PC now eventually. Maybe I'll make my own PlayStation 5 Pro, and it could play a lot of things. A part of me is just worried about how much more powerful it's going to be. Like, if you really want to make a PS5 Pro, part of me kind of wishes that they would just really go for it and it would be like a giant upgrade. But then it becomes weird. What's the difference between, at that point, a mid-gen upgrade and a new console? Because there really isn't that much of one anyways. It's going to be a difficult thing to kind of market and make feel exciting when you don't immediately have the buzzword like 4K, and maybe you can try to push ray tracing again. They try to push ray tracing a lot with the launch of the PlayStation 5, right? They were throwing that one out there like crazy.
And everybody cared, right? Everyone was wild for ray tracing.
Yeah, right. They all pretended like they cared for a bit. They all turned it on. I was like, wow, look at these car reflections.
Mm-hmm. I still think ray tracing is a very interesting technology, but I still think it's not for us as much as it's for developers.
I just had to turn ray tracing off in World of Warcraft because, like, I was playing World of Warcraft and it was chugging. Like, why is it chugging? And people were like, oh, because of the ray tracing. I was like, why the fuck is ray tracing turned on? You turn it off. Runs great. So
exactly.
Like, cool.
To be fair, I did see Wolfenstein 3D, the original Wolfenstein 3D with ray tracing. And it looks shit hot. So I love it in old games.
Oh, this was just for the shadows, apparently. I'm like, turn the shadows
stupid.
off. It's World of Warcraft. It practically looks like Roblox already. I don't care about ray tracing.
Of course, the other stuff with this is the timeline here is Bill Coon saying the review will be in the next 2-3 weeks. The first half of September is what they said, which kind of is what we were guessing the last time we talked about this stuff, where it's like, I heard about a PlayStation State of Play in the last weekish of September, and they could have a PS5 Pro announcement there, or it can happen anytime before that, leading into that. Seems like that's the path this is going. But yeah, this is before Tokyo Game Show. That all lines up as well, right?
Yeah. It seems like the stuff is imminent, and I know you were hearing about a state of play, not a PlayStation showcase. Right. I mean, the stuff's happening the holiday. It's going to be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and if honestly, that I'm pretty confident about it being a state of play. But if they have the announcement of the PS5 Pro outside of it, that makes me even a little bit more confident. But we'll see how that all goes down. Final thing, we always got to bring it up when we have this conversation. What do you think the price is going to be?
Yeah, it's hard. I hear 600, I hear 700. I understand the argument for 700. I'm just, my problem is that I'm just old and can remember how negatively everyone freaked out about $599 back in the day, even though it's a very different world right now.
We're a long way from that in a lot of ways.
We're a long way from E3 2006, it turns out, or whatever the hell that was.
Almost 20 years away from that. So 18 years away from that.
Don't say that. Gosh. I want to say 600, and I feel like I'm being low. I feel like I'm being low, but I think I'll still say 600.
Yeah. So I mean, what we have with the Japanese price increases is generally roughly 500 and 550 for the digital and the physical versions of the PS5 now. Clearly that sets it up to very easily be $600, but that's at least 600. I think these days I lean towards 650. And that's me. I think I'm being a little bit of a coward because I'm with you. I've seen a console that is basically $700. I think would be shocking. The trouble with that argument is the people that they're targeting this thing at will pay that money because they're going to buy it no matter what. They have to have the most powerful PlayStation, and they won't be able to help themselves. And if they have to come up with an extra $100, they will. So. Yeah, I think if Sony it can put themselves in that headspace, especially without having to worry about pricing this against a comparable Xbox model, right. I think it gives them a little bit more leeway to get a little bit tougher with that price.
And there's an Xbox Series X that's going to cost $600, right? And that's just because of storage, right? How much storage it's coming with, which. So yeah, that's weird too. I don't know. The Xbox PlayStation comparisons are going to be weird in a lot of ways. Weird.
I think it's the start of them no longer being easy to compare head to head. Obviously, the most easy head to head comparison ever was this generation at the beginning, and I think Microsoft's like that. Nah, that just didn't work out for us at all. Let's try to think about what the positioning looks like and see how we can differentiate ourselves going forward. And I think this is the start of that. So we'll see.
Right. Well, but just the fact that there's not going to be a pro model Xbox and there's a lot of Xbox games coming to PlayStation. I mean, we're going to be in this weird world where these games are just going to look better on the best PlayStation than they look on the best Xbox, right? Yep. This time next year, Indiana Jones will look better on PlayStation than it can on Xbox. It's kind of a weird thing.
Absolutely. I mean, some of those games, if they're CPU bound, it's not going to be that much of a difference. But resolution, they can get a little bit more resolution here and there, and that people will notice that. It won't be like the days of early Xbox One, PS4, where it's all these PS4 games are 1080 and all these Xbox games are 720 or 900p, and people really did notice that. That was a pretty big difference back then. Now the difference between a 1080p and a 1200p, however these things are running natively, it's a little bit more difficult to see that, but people will still fight about it online.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
So, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. The PS5 is increasing in price in Japan. A huge part of this is just it's the end of inflation. Not really the end of inflation, but if inflation is beginning to come down, these companies are going to try to get the last markup they can while they still can. Of course, at the same time, component prices are not going down. In fact, we're seeing reports that component prices could very easily jump next year. TSMC reportedly, and this is a report, but I think it's in line with reality, going to increase prices by 10% for their wafers. So getting a big wafer of a bunch of chips that go in these systems cost $18,000 for one of these big wafers that goes into hundreds of PS5s. Now they're saying it's going to be about $20,000, and that price is going to get passed on to AMD, and then that price is going to get passed on to Sony, and then passed on to the consumer each time, probably each one taking a little bit of a buffer to protect their cut. And that means, the final price increase could be something closer to 11% if that price really does get passed on. Now, I think part of the way they protect themselves with that price increase is making sure the PS5 Pro is a little bit more expensive while this volatility is still in the marketplace. But what do you think a price increase in Japan signifies, other than obviously the reality of the economic situation in Japan?
I mean, I think just that, maybe. I mean, it's still weird because, we're just so far removed from a time where prices slowly went down, right? And it's a big price increase. And I know there's something about, Black Myth Wukong and how many people in China are apparently importing PlayStation 5s from Japan to play that game.
Been a
And
huge
so
thing
that
this whole time, yes.
so that's another aspect of it as well, I suppose.
Right. Demand is maybe a little bit artificially high. I guess it's not artificial, but just higher than you would expect based on like how well PlayStation games sell in Japan. That's something people have been pointing out for a long time. It's like PlayStation 5s are selling pretty well in Japan, and then you look at the sales charts, and every Nintendo game is outselling PlayStation 5 games like 10, 15 to 1. So
Right.
people have been like putting the math together, but maybe a lot of these are just going to China, and that does seem to be the case. Whatever. You sell a console wherever you can sell a console, and whoever's going to buy it can buy it. Yeah, I guess then this sets up do you have a different idea of what the next generation of consoles are going to cost at the start? Because I do get the sense that both these companies regretted $500. And like I think there's no way they're $500 again, right? They're at least $600 next time.
Yeah, that's true, but I just think there's a lot of questions about the next generation of consoles, right? Like, because are we going to do this again? Where, it's very familiar. And we kind of know who all the players are, and what we've been getting with the PlayStation 5. It's not been bad to good, but it's been pretty predictable in a way. Are you able to get excitement around that again? Is it just like, hey, here's the next PlayStation, let's go again? Maybe this one will get a Naughty Dog game released for it. I don't know. Right? Like, I don't know. I'm like, my confidence in console gaming like that is at an all-time low right now. I just have a hard time using my imagination to even think about its future at the moment.
Yep. We got a bunch of super chats on these topics. We'll get to those in a second. Let's just hit this last story. Black Myth Wukong. There's some question about why isn't it on Xbox? And Ecstasis, a leaker who's gotten some stuff right, maybe missed some stuff, is saying that there was a memory leak issue with Xbox, and that prevented the team from being able to get it ready in time to release on Xbox. Paul Tassi and IGN are saying it's because Sony has an exclusivity deal. I talked to someone, and they're like, as far as I can tell, and this is someone who would know, that Sony has no money marketing deal to keep this game off of Xbox. Now, is there some other thing that's happened here where Sony showed up and said, hey, here's some help to get this game on PlayStation, and maybe there was an exchange of value on that side of things? I guess that's possible. Or maybe it's more simple than that. And, well, okay, maybe it's even more simple than what I'm about to say. And it's like, well, you put the game on PlayStation if you're game science, because there are way more PlayStations in China than Xboxes. In fact, there's basically 0 Xboxes in China. And in Chinese sales for this game are so far and away the bulk of the money that maybe Xbox doesn't even occur to them on first blush. And then maybe it's more simple of, well, once Sony, and again, this is speculation, I have no idea. If Sony showed up and said, hey, we are going to help you, Game Science is like, great, well, we will dedicate some of our engineers to help you help us. And by the time they got done doing that, there were no resources left to help to get the game on Xbox. But again, as far as I can tell, and as far as my sources can tell, there is no exclusivity deal. And I think if you look at it, when has Sony ever made a marketing deal to keep something exclusive and not shouted to the rooftops about it? So it's just strange.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's just strange. I mean, there could be a lot of different angles here, and I hate to say it, but it just ultimately it just isn't that much of a loss to the developers of this game to not have it on Xbox, right?
That's right.
It's just, that's for whatever the exact reason is, whatever the thing is, they didn't push through whatever that barrier was.
Yep.
And I understand that being a bummer for a lot of people.
Yep. Yeah, that's just going to be kind of the reality. I don't think this means it never comes to Xbox, but Game Science, a newer team in the console space, right? They're probably figuring this out as they go along. And so you're right, that barrier could be anything. And then they start doing the math. Is it worth it? I think you're exactly right. And that's where people's heads should probably be. But of course, this is a lot of this is fueled by console fanboy boring and stuff like that. And
and those people have been very normal about this
very
game.
Very normal and reasonable and just sober-minded is how I would describe them, of course.
They're very good.
Yes.
I expect nothing less from this industry.
All right. What we'll do is let's take a quick break right now. We'll come back. We'll get right into the super chats.
All right, break. We got your jump back in?
I'm good.
Yeah,
You
I'm
good,
good
Mike?
to go.
All right.
Yep,
All right.
getting the glasses on.
Sure. I'll bring us up. All right. We are back. Let's do it, Mike. We got a handful of super chats here. Let's do those.
All right, great. Jacob Bench says, I plan to go to the Game Awards this year and to make a trip out of it also to Nintendo World. I hear you need a 40-minute waste
40
to ride
inch.
the 40 inch, 40 minute. I hear theme parks. I think everything's in minutes. You
Yeah,
see.
of course.
Is that true? Keep up the great work. I don't know exactly what it is, Jacob, but there are some surprisingly strict like waste requirements in rides at Universal. Even like ones that aren't like fast, like the Secret Life of Pets ride, which is just like, you're in a little car and you go and you look at some scenes, has a waste requirement. That stuff will be listed on their website or somebody else will have accumulated. So I would definitely, check that stuff out because there are, in fact, requirements for these rides, and some of them are stricter than others. Like some of them, like that Harry Potter ride, you get kind of, you do get pretty squeezed in there. I know I know that I've known people who have like, I couldn't quite breathe on that thing, kind of a situation even. So it's a thing worth looking into. Like a Dylan says, I finally played Ridge Racer Type 4, and oh my god, the soundtrack. Yes.
It's good.
Gosh, I was
Really
listening
good.
to it more today. I listen to it almost constantly because it's just, I have that CD in my car, right? My car still has a CD player.
Did you get the vinyl for that as well?
I don't have the vinyl yet.
Okay.
I'll have to at some point.
Yeah. It's a good collector's thing at this point, but you have the CD, you're listening to that, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got a few vinyls at Gamescom, including that awesome Mega Man Legends one.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's great. I got Mega Man Legends. I got a Super Metroid, not like an official one, but someone made one, and that's good. And I think Shovel Knight. I got Shovel Knight.
Very cool.
On vinyl. So a bunch of good stuff there. Jeff, tell me something about the future of Ridge Racer, please.
I think that Bandai Namco will constantly disappoint you. That's the future. So there you go.
All right. Thank you. Like it Dylan with their 5th super chat says, I really like Concord and I'm sad it's dead on arrival. The gameplay is strong. Could better marketing have helped, or do you think it was doomed from the start? I think better marketing could have helped.
Yes.
But I think doing that whole kind of expensive CG trailer and like telling us how much we're gonna love the characters instead of letting us decide for ourselves we like them.
Yeah, good point.
Was a big mistake. But I think so much was against that game. So much was going against that one.
Yeah, there's a lot going against it, but also like, God, if I'm at that company and I'm seeing this game, I'm looking at it being like, this doesn't look like it's going to be a Lawbreakers. These characters look, compelling and appealing. I think you guys got one here. This should be fine. And I'm like, that doesn't mean I was interested in it, but I'm like, well, people play these kinds of games. It's a multiplayer game. Those tend to sell better than anything else. People will show up for this. So I don't know. I'm still just kind of a little bit of shell shock every time I think about Concord, about, boy, you can make some really, really bad bets in this industry, and there's no real rhyme or reason why anything didn't work out. And I think people will be quick to say, hey, single-player games are doing great, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Wukong is crushing. A huge part of that's because of China, but their money spends, whatever. I don't think that's necessarily the answer either. I think there's just a lot of risk in this industry right now, and this is a very good example of it.
Remember Crucible? People kind of forget, like, what Amazon's first game that they released as part of their new initiative, right? Like, before New World, they made a hero shooter weird thing that also looked very expensive and had, people forgot. Like, this has already happened before.
Yeah, I mean, Lawbreakers
it's just wild.
Like, it's like very similar to what happened to the Lawbreakers. Yeah,
right. It's like every like 2 or 3 years now that we just get this again, and boy, it's rough. Next up is from Super Harm. It says, assuming the Lucasfilm Games logo is the last to appear for Indy in the Great Circle's opening, what does it dissolve?
Oh, very interesting. Okay,
instead of the mountain for Paramount.
Yeah, okay. They if it does that, it'll be like some cave painting, right? Because it's the Lucasfilm logo. Oh wait, now I'm thinking of the LucasArts logo.
Right. I wish it was that dude. That'd be amazing. God, I'm still so mad that
stupid.
They brought back. Yeah, Lucasfilm Games, like LucasArts.
Have respect for your fucking past. Come on, it's shameful. I don't know. I think the reality is, I think they'll do the Paramount logo last, so they could be more like the movie and have the mountain dissolve into yet another mound of something. Remember what it fucking was in Kingdom of a Crystal Skull, a gopher mound?
And then it was immediately a CG gopher that came out of it. At first I liked it, and then it was immediately a CG gopher, and I was just like, I'm already at least a little bit more tuned out of this than I wanted to be.
Exactly. Yep.
Next up is Sadat, the gamer, says, Jeff, God of Wisdom, Conqueror of May.
That's right.
Have you heard anything about the upcoming superhero games like Warner Brothers DC stuff, Insomniac stuff, TMNT Last Ronin, EA Marvel, etc.? State of play predictions. Anything you want to tell us about superhero games, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, nothing new on any of those things. Sorry about that. I should check in on those EA and Marvel games at the very least, see how they're doing. But yeah,
which ones are they working on again? Are they the ones doing Black Panther?
They're doing the just Black Panther game, and they're doing the
Blade,
Iron Man, and maybe they're doing Blade as well. Right? They have 3.
Someone's making a Blade.
I think they're
game,
making 3. Right? The Blade one, I think, is the furthest one off, if I can remember. I hear these things, I say them, and then I say them so I don't have to remember them anymore.
Iron Man.
Right.
Okay.
Iron Man. Yep. And then WB's got Wonder Woman, and who is doing that?
Wonder Woman.
Annie Hiddig's doing the Black Panther and Captain America. Is that who?
Captain America? That's right. Yeah, World War II era.
Dishonored people.
I think wasn't it former Dishonored people? Right? Is working on.
Let me check.
Blade is Arcane. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, right. Blade's Arcane from Microsoft. Right. That's right. You're right. Okay.
Oh.
Thank you, Christian. Yeah, I don't know. I'll check in on some of these. I think, though, a state of play, they would probably be happy to have some. I mean, we haven't heard about Wonder Woman in quite some time. That could easily show up at a state of play, especially if Sony's like, hey, third-party partners, do you have some stuff for us since we are still holding off on showing some of our first-party stuff? This is not a showcase. I don't know, but I think we also don't hear about any of these games until they're pretty close to being ready. That's just the way these things tend to go these days. Working on assets for shows like this, we say it all the time, is a big distraction, takes a lot of resources, months of work from people involved doing stuff for a commercial for you instead of actually finishing the game. So they try to avoid that these days where possible.
P88 Box says, much like my super chats, PS5 doesn't seem to add anything meaningful. What would it take to get you two to upgrade? Anyway, thanks for what you do, and happy birthday to my friend Renee. Happy birthday, Renee.
Happy birthday, Renee.
For me, it would just be a commitment that, like, pretty much every game that matters is going to run steady at 60 FPS, and I don't really know if I believe that would be a thing, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker. I say it all the time. It won't take much to get me to upgrade because I like to have the newest things. So, but to be clear, I know I'm a sucker on that stuff. So for me, it's not going to be much. I could help. Part of it is I can easily justify it. Like everyone needs to justify these things. I could justify it, being like, it's my job. But God, man, I've struggled with this PS5 and Xbox Series X, and I just don't use those things very frequently, honestly.
Usually I always upgrade. I bet I still will.
Yeah, I think
but there's a part of me, it's like, man, I'm really not using these things that much. Like why would I care that much? But it is, yeah, I still like, there are going to be big PS5 games and they are going to be exclusive to that console for a while at least. And I'm going to want to be able to play them looking their best, I suppose.
Yep.
So yeah, the beat goes on. Baba is me says, was watching the Dark Souls collection of Mike's playthrough. Thank you, Firehair. Yes, thank you so much, Firehair, for making these highlight reels of my Dark Souls playthroughs. Appreciate that. And there is a jump Mike tried 40 times, and it is the same jump Tam goaded Blessing into trying a bunch of times also. Impossible jump, ? I know this jump. Yes, I think it's impossible. I tried so hard to make this jump happen.
Is what we're talking about?
Yeah, so Dark Souls doesn't really have like a real jump button, but if you're dashing and you push a button, you kind of like
it's funny.
Calling it a jump is generous.
Okay,
and,
that's really funny.
And there's a part where it seems like you can cross a gap, and like you even kind of like get stuck in the geometry a bit, like, oh, maybe you're gonna make it, and then you fall. So you try it 50 times hoping that you stick, but you never stick.
Right, absolutely. Okay, yeah, I'll do it, and I'll get him one. Of course, beginner's luck.
All right. Sounds good. Faux Gods, no message, but their first super chat. Thank you so much. Jacob Betch says, I feel like I'm the only one planning on getting a PS5 Pro. I like new tech. I can sell my old one to help pay for it.
Yeah, a lot of people can do that. Yeah, a lot of people are going to, and that's how a lot of people justify it. And I think Sony knows that, and that is why I think this thing could easily get up to $700. Is they're like, hey, people are going to be selling their old one. We want them to sell their old one. We want to encourage them to sell their old one because that's one of the ways we can get new people buying games. Is hey, that's a new PS5 customer that just spent $350, $400. How much does a secondhand PS5 go for? Probably still a pretty high price. You get that cash, you use that to buy a PS5 Pro, and that's a new sale of a console right there. So, and then they can still make it feel like, hey, you're getting a pretty good deal. A PS5 Pro for only $300, $350. I think they will try to get as much out of you as possible.
Brian Corliss with their 5th super chat, thank you so much, says, it's my 34th and feeling rad. Here's some cheddar for you beef boys for everything you do. Smoochies to all and to birthday pal. To my birthday pal Renee. Who's Renee? It's their birthday apparently.
Well, I think
thank you so much, Brian.
I think Brian just saw the earlier super chat and was chiming in there. But hey, Brian, you don't have to give us money on your birthday. Hey, happy birthday to you though, for sure.
I mean, you
thank
don't
you so
have
much.
to, but
I'll let Mike
happy
say
birthday,
it.
Brian.
Yep.
Ricardo says thoughts on the RG40XXH for PS1 emulation. What?
That seems like it should be pretty solid. Now I've not tried it myself. It's the new vertical Game Boy style handheld from Anbernic, and it's I think. Is this the one with the OLED screen? I don't think this is the one with the OLED screen. There is a newer one that does have an OLED screen. Maybe it's this one. At this point, if you can get one of these handhelds with an OLED screen for like PS1 emulation, boy, I bet that looks really, really fucking good on a 4x3
Are you thinking
screen.
about
Is this a
the
vertical?
Retroid Pocket Mini?
I think I'm thinking of the Retroid Pocket Mini. Yes.
Yeah, this is not the vertical one. This is the one that looks like a PSP almost.
Are you sure? I thought this was the new.
No, the one mentioned in the super chat is it looks like the Retroid Pocket Mini. It's one of those like little 4x3.
Oh,
ones.
this okay, all right, yeah, but it's got the 4x3
So
screen.
it's like Amber Nick's version of it, but
Yes.
Yeah, look, this thing does kind of look like a PSP.
Okay, yeah, okay, this is
Or
the PSP
Vita,
one.
actually.
All right. Yeah, I think you're going to be pretty solid there, but that's me just guessing. So you can Retroid Game Core is going to have your back. Go watch their videos when it's ready.
It's a
Joey-
IPS screen, by the way.
IPS screen on that one. Okay.
Joey F sent their first super chat, no message, but thank you.
Thank you, Joey F.
The Char Wolf says, I'd like to apologize to Mike. Kingdom Hearts is actually really freaking good. Have you ever made fun of a franchise only to later learn you like it? Apology accepted. Thank you.
Are you playing Kingdom Hearts 1 Uncharted Wolf? Because I'll accept that
people
maybe
like
2
that
and 3
game.
get good, but okay.
No, one is a great game already.
I need to
already
play like the remastered version because playing it on original hardware, it was just so rough. God, okay.
Was it the platforming really threw you off? What was
No,
it?
no, everything, especially the ship segments, but just everything about it was pretty bad.
The gummy ship. It's just a kind of mediocre rail shooter thing. What I don't want to make you play Kingdom Hearts, but I am curious to watch you play Kingdom Hearts and see where the frustration
I can't remember
points
exactly what it was now. It was a while ago. This is back in my first house in Colorado at this point. So it's several years now. I just remember me and Steph taking turns playing it, her having fondness for it, and then as we're playing it, getting more and more frustrated, and me being like, there'd be times where she'd get frustrated. I'm like, let me help, and I'd be playing it like, oh, this is not a you problem. This is the game's problem. And I don't remember specifically what it was.
I think it's a both of you problem.
I bet you do think that. I'm not surprised to hear that.
I don't think it's. Is there a franchise I hated on and later learned to like? That's a little difficult. I'm sure there must be some examples. This isn't really the same thing, but I still remember Jeff saying he wasn't going to play Resident Evil 4 remake because he already played that game. and then it was like, shit, that's probably the best game this year. Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty good shit, actually.
God, it's a good game.
Yeah. I mean, it took me a while. There's certain franchises took me a while to like really open my heart to, like Resident Evil, actually, just because I was so kind of anti-zombie for a little bit there.
That's definitely happened. I can't, other than that Resident Evil 4 example, I can't think of anything. Gamefire
Kerbiter, member for 4 months on our Lincoln tier. Thank you. Said PS5 Pro is truly pointless. There might be a bit of a point.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the sharpest point in the world.
Yeah, I think most people are going to feel that way more than felt that way about PS4 Pro.
Shake Capo says, underwhelm in the age of 720p 60 FPS modes with terrible image quality on PS5 and Series X. If PSSR does its job, it should be a big jump over FSR 2/3. Yeah, I guess a lot of this is going to come down to how impressive is PSSR, huh?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just not that underwhelmed by the image quality on PS5 and Xbox Series X at the moment. Like, there will be some improvements, but I mean, when I'm playing a game on those consoles, most of the time it's not running at 720p, and even if it is, the current upscaling is pretty decent. Obviously, FSR 2 and 3 are mediocre. Like, they're not great upscaling solutions. It's okay. It's better in some circumstances than others, but I just don't think PSSR is going to come in and change the world. I just don't.
Willow Davis asks, do video game journalists get to celebrate Labor Day?
Listen, we don't tell anybody that this isn't really labor, but yes, yeah.
So, we'll be flying during Labor Day for the most part, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
That's going to be technically a work day for us.
You
It's just
fucking capitalist pigs don't celebrate Labor
God.
Day like everybody else.
Well, I
that May
would,
1st?
yes, I would celebrate, but I'm going to be at PAX and flying home.
To be clear, we do celebrate Labor Day
And we get it
off.
off. Yeah.
To be clear.
I know you get it off. Hold on, continue.
Oh.
That's so going on a soundboard.
Jesus
Both you and
Christ.
unison.
Oh my
Perfect.
God.
Thank you.
I just got it. I was trying to be like, oh, you got off of a crime, and Dan just heard your dad got you off from crime. And he's like, what'd you say? I'm like, chill out, Dan. Sorry, this is during Blight Club the other day.
Greg says Mike should play Alone in the Dark on NSO for lols. I started that. I played more of it than I should have at one point. It's not good. It's not very good. The weird Game Boy version of Alone in the Dark.
Game Boy Color one, right? Okay.
Yes. Weird.
It's weird. I think it's weird in a pretty interesting way, but when we picked this game for you, Mike, I did watch a playthrough of the original Alone in the Dark, and that game's very silly. It's just pastels and weird ghost
unshaded
things.
textures everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
Very
never even occurred to me to play the original.
me neither. I'm just like, okay, well, now that we're doing this, I should have some history here. And
That is the fucked up thing about this game you're making me play is like, at least with like Mortal Kombat, I like Mortal Kombat. Even RoboCop, never watched RoboCop. Like, well, that's a cool character. I don't feel anything for Alone in the Dark.
Well, it seems like you feel a lot of stuff now, but
Well, now I feel disdain.
Yeah.
That's true. The only Alone in the Dark media I had ever absorbed before was the You a Bull movie, and I remember nothing about it.
that's the one with Christian Slater, right? That's the only thing I remember.
I can't tell you. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Big Fresh 37 says, after taking Mario Party and spelling supremacy away from Dan, what else can Bailey take away from him? His wife, maybe.
Yeah, watch out.
Bailey should get his house.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Bailey should grow a bigger beard than Dan has, and I think that would really
get him.
That would put him in his place. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do really appreciate how Bailey is sort of the antithesis. She's his kryptonite. It's incredible.
Yeah. Roxo says, hey, gaming gods, speaking as someone who loved Dread and Zero Mission, liked Fusion, and fell off Super, played in that order, do you think Dominus is a good place to jump into Castlevania?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the little weird thing is, like, Dawn of Sorrow is such a direct sequel to Aria of Sorrow specifically that you maybe want to play that one first.
I mean, listen, either one of these collections is going to be a good place. I think I agree with Mike that the best place to jump in is the Advanced Collection. And obviously, Symphony of the Night, if you could play that, would be great. But there's nothing wrong with starting with these Game Boy Advance games or the DS games even. You kind of could do no wrong. You're going to want to play all of them.
That was their 5th super chat. Thank you so much, Soxo.
Thank you.
Matt Piscatella says,
Hey,
Mike.
Matt.
Well, their first super chat, actually. Thank you, Matt. Mike, what would bring you more joy? A theoretical PlayStation 5 Pro or 70 Disneyland churros? And isn't everything pointless on a long enough timeline? Wow, it's deep. Churro sounds pretty fucking good right now.
Yeah, God, those were
Love
good churros. Yep.
God, cinnamon sugar is just better. I feel like we should just have one kind of sugar, and it should be cinnamon sugar. We should just call it sugar.
So
It's just always better.
Is it? Well, you think it would work in anything just as well as sugar does?
Trying to think what it
you're
wouldn't.
right. You're right. I don't disagree. You're right. God, churros are really good.
Churros are amazing. I guess like barbecue has sugar in it. I'm not sure if I want a cinnamon flavored bar, but maybe it'd be great. Actually,
I feel like a lot of barbecue does use cinnamon sugar or whatever, or like maybe they just have a pinch of cinnamon with the sugar. Yeah, that's probably what they do.
Yeah, I don't know. Simon SD says, Jeff, why do you primarily use the Steam Deck over the Ally? And Mike, why do you usually use the Ally over the deck? Jeff hates Windows.
Yeah, I hate Windows on one of these devices. I am actually charging my Ally right now because Star Wars Outlaws works much better on there than it does on the Steam Deck. But the general reason is I find the usability and just like, hey, I am turning this thing on to play a video game and that's what I want to do. And the Steam Deck is much better at that. It's also better at like when I'm done playing a game and I want to put it to sleep and pick it up later, it's better at that as well. It's way better. at that.
At that really? Because I like the hibernate mode on the Ally a lot for that. It seems very good.
Mine's been unreliable in the past. Maybe it's probably improved since the last time I really did this.
Yeah, you have to use hibernate, not the other thing. It's specifically called hibernate.
So what happened? Like when I press the power button once to put it to sleep, is that not what I'm supposed to be doing?
No. You don't do that. You click the other button and you select the power thing. You select hibernate.
Okay, I will start doing that. That's good. I bet I can set it up so maybe that button goes to hibernate.
Maybe.
That's very frustrating to me is when I hit that button and then I plug it in and the thing's like, oh, you plugged me in, so you want to play? I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'll try to put it back to sleep, and 5 minutes later it still wakes up, and I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, and now you're shining bright video games in my eyes, and I hate that kind of stuff. And then when you got to update it, like we were talking about this the other day, I just had to do this because I haven't plugged this thing in forever. I got to update the drivers in Windows. I gotta go to my
favorite thing.
My Asus app. I gotta go to the AMD stuff and upgrade there. It's a pain in the ass, and the Steam Deck is very much not that. It just works. Also, these days I have the original Ally. The battery life on that is pitiful compared to the OLED Steam Deck that I have, which is maybe not a fair comparison because there is an Ally X at this point, but that's just the reality for me.
I just think the Ally is a lot more comfortable to hold. It's obviously a lot easier getting non-Steam stuff working on that. The low battery life and the update thing is a pain, but otherwise it's very easy for me to use. And I personally I don't find the Windows that different than the Linux operating system thing that's going on there. In terms of difficulty of use or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't use I've never used a whole lot of Linux stuff before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm barely ever in the Linux stuff these days, but I'm entering a password and the keyboard will pop up over the password field, so I can't click into the password field to actually type in the password. Like that sort of stuff just drives me insane. And then Windows has done an update recently. Like, we're gonna make this better for being on handhelds, and it's just the Xbox app that got the update. Everything else is still exactly the same. So just a general frustration. Although really at this point, the battery life is the biggest thing. The Steam Deck OLED's long battery life has been a real joy recently.
Kieran Smith says, I'm actually shocked that Dan didn't ask Mitch to spray the healing spray on Edward Carnby's wang during Bike Club yesterday.
I think you tried.
Is Dan okay?
No, he's off his game, clearly. We'll see if we can get him back on top here in the next one.
That was their third super chat. Thank you. Jacob Bet says, playing Visions of Mana to find out that almost the whole team got canned. Yikes. Yeah, so apparently this Uka Studios, it's actually a NetEase Studios that made Visions of Mana, and apparently most of that team has been gutted already over, yeah.
It's like the good old days. You finish a game so you can get fired.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. Not that I thought that this game was going to be some giant sales success. I don't know if this is related to that or all. There was like a Bloomberg story on this like an hour ago, so I haven't really been able to catch up.
Yeah, I'll read that tomorrow morning.
Okay. Next one here is from Jedi Moss 4, who says, whoops, something got refreshed. I got to scroll up to find that again. Oh, there's a lot of super chats. We might pick up pace a little bit here.
Yeah, we can do that.
How funny is it that we are getting new PlayStation hardware before a successor to the Switch? There's a chance we hear about the next Xbox before Switch 2. Well, because, I mean, new hardware is, it's new hardware, sure. But, I mean, we could hear about the Switch next month. That could also happen.
Yep. I think it probably will happen based on kind of what we heard recently. I don't know for sure, but yeah, before Tokyo Game Show, we could easily hear about the Switch 2. I get what you're saying, but I'm almost like, it's almost funny. I mean, it's like, well, we're going to hear about the PlayStation hardware, and immediately we're going to hear about the Switch 2, and people are going to care way more about that.
Maximiliano Carrion says, tangentially related to Wukong, it's been a month since China Joy happened, and I've yet to see any coverage of any kind in any news outlet. Seems that China is rapidly becoming a very important player worldwide. Why is nobody covering that event?
I think we did one story about China Joy, maybe two on Game Mess Mornings, and so that means someone wrote some news stories about that. It happens. Maybe those were like preemptive stories, like, hey, this could be a China Joy. If those weren't included in there, maybe I was considering them and I didn't. I don't know. The reality is China Joy is going to have a lot of stuff that's specific for China, and that means it's going to be hard to suss out what matters to your Western audience when you're putting together a new story or a show like mine. So, yeah, China Joy matters. We talk about China all the time and how important of a market it is, but it's sometimes difficult to parse like, hey, here's why this matters to you, the person likely listening to this story.
Yeah, it's a market that's mattering more and more all the time. In fact, I think some people are going to resent how much more that market matters maybe than the markets they thought used to matter the most here soon.
Yep. It kind of overnight. It's like, and now console games are crushing in China. So people who make console games are going to start thinking about China way more, regardless of how difficult it's going to be to get games into that market.
Yeah.
Like the investors will just want it.
Remember when Marvel was like introducing whole subplots just for the Chinese market?
Every movie had that.
That's wild.
Yep.
That's odd. Dibbity Dab with their 10th super chat says, I just spent a lot of money on Ridge Racer 4. The game boots up and I can race, but all the music tracks skip every single song. This is Mike's fault.
Jeez, that's devastating.
That's basically what you want that thing for. I don't know. Hopefully you got somewhere you can get a refund or something, because that's no good.
Yeah.
Or maybe it might be the PlayStation. It might be a disc reading problem, unless all your other discs are working fine. I don't know. Gosh, all this stuff is just degrading. It's just all going to get worse. Good thing it's funny. Even though I love this collection stuff, I'm so glad emulation's there.
Oh yeah, and emulation's so good these days. Yep, it's a relief.
This is a lot of letters. R. Juff J.D. Bev Dufud
Are you okay?
says,
what's going on? Is he having
That's just the name. He said it perfectly.
Oh, all right.
do you guys have any characters from media that you don't understand why you irrationally love them? Like, I like Poe, Teletubbies. I do not like Poe. I don't like anybody from Teletubbies. What's the purple one? Purple one always had the weirdest name and the deepest voice.
I can't remember, but I like the purple one. Though he was out there doing
That
his
would
thing.
be Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky, that's right. Yes.
Yeah,
I like the baby son from Teletubbies. The son that had the baby's face in it. That was great.
Tinky, that's so upsetting. Tinky Winky. Fuck
Not
you.
down
And
with
it's
the
like,
Tinky Winky, huh? All right.
he's noticeably taller than the other ones too. I don't like that.
I will say, whenever I watch Teletubbies and realize it's primarily a British show, I'm like, this explains a lot about my British friends.
That's a British show? That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
now.
right? See?
Yeah, everything's
Wow.
coming together. I don't know. I feel like all the characters I love they're pretty rational loves.
Yeah, I think that's I'm like, oh, I really like.
Oh, I don't know why I like the Noid.
Well, it's because we're kids of the '80s, and commercialism is just our shit, man.
And he had
Like
an
most of our
NES game.
cartoons were like made to sell us toys, and so it's like, well, what's the difference? This is made to sell us pizza. All right, that's fine with me.
Who gives a shit? It's just as good as
And
any
just
other
as good as anything
character.
else. Yeah, mine
right,
are pretty basic and rational. Like, oh, I like Han Solo a lot. Like, I want to be cool. Of course I do.
Willow Davis says, would Mike rather be at an Outback and have a tomboy Princess Daisy if a cool hat ask if he wants to see her tan lines or hear
What?
Ridge racist news? Look,
What
I don't have to answer your questions. No lies making me answer this.
The Ridge racist.
Ridge racist.
Rock me like a slurricane.
Chris Pratt says, this Alan Woke movie news sure is exciting. Let's just say I can do more than stomp hoopas. Please stay tuned.
Chris Pratt as Alan Wake is maybe even crazier than Chris Pratt as Mario.
What I love is it could happen.
Yes, it really could happen. It really could. This kind of just happened. Not A24. It was A24. A24 and Remedy partnered up, and A24 is going to help pay for the movie or the games, and then they also get first rights for the movies and TV shows of Alan Wake. So Annapurna, thank you, chat. Annapurna. I knew it was wrong. So yeah, cool. Sounds good.
8K says, fuck, marry, kill, Suicide Squad, Skull and Bones, and Concord.
Ooh.
Go ahead,
Black
Christian.
Concord because it has hot people and hot robots. Marry Suicide Squad because it has like infinite like playtime. You can fuck around with that game forever, and kill Skull and Bones because I don't know. That sounds boring.
I think that's generally right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it just because I actually think Suicide Squad is the best game here, so I'll marry that. And I could fuck around with Concord a bit. Skull and Bones is weird because people don't even seem to be excited to hate that one or to dunk on that one.
Yeah.
It's almost just kind of like, can we finally move on from this now? They released it.
God.
Great.
Man, there is a parade of sad games from this year. These 3 right here alone, but there's more than just this, but these 3 especially.
Like when a game flops, it seems to flop harder than ever now.
Yep, it's weird.
Zero Wing CM with their first super chat says, I just got a PlayStation Portal and have been happy with how well it works. Looking forward to playing Astro on it. Also, what if Astro can have higher FPS on the PlayStation 5 Pro? Will help with speedrun times, possibly.
Let's be clear here. That game should just run as good as it runs on a PS5 out of the gate. Like, they don't... I mean, other than maybe a higher resolution if you want, whatever. But it better be 60 frames per second, period.
Yeah, I imagine that game's just going to be locked at 60.
Yep.
Is what I expect.
I guess they could have it run at 120 frames per second on the PS5 Pro, but I don't care that much. I did just spend a half an hour after I ate dinner and took out the trash and before this show started, getting my Steam Deck, the Chiaki 4 deck, to be able to stream the PS5 outside of my network for various reasons this weekend.
Wow.
So, yes.
Big mystery.
I can now connect my Steam Deck to my phone. I tested it, and it worked well enough in some games to stream games from outside my network, or from outside the network to my phone, or then to the Steam Deck. So, yes, I've done this as well.
Pokeegg says, no questions, just supporting the habit. Thank you, Pokeegg, your 3rd super chat. Deadly Virus Evo says, what's up with Battlefield? Are they really going to make the same mistake as Titanfall 2 and release it in the Grand Theft Auto 6 release window?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to do a lot with this game. I think that the reality is Battlefield will have the free-to-play multiplayer side of things, and then some stuff you could pay money for. But I don't know. It's a different world than when Battlefield mattered, when it did.
Glowworm says, with their first super chat, hey, dogs, appreciate everything you guys do. Any chance for a Game S meetup during PAX? Big fan of Add-A-Ball and Arcade Dive Bar. Good pinball.
We can probably make something like that happen.
We can make something happen. It seems like Thursday night might be the time for that, if anything.
Yeah, that's
Thursday.
right now,
Thursday,
Mike.
I mean Sunday. By Thursday, I mean Sunday. I don't want to yell. I don't want to get yelled at again on Reddit.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? All the yelling that we do for commercial purposes.
That's what I love. You know what? I shouldn't even.
I know.
Thread. Look, it's one thing if, like, I don't like that they yell as
You're
much.
allowed to not like it. Yeah,
but then the worst part was it was like, what is the motive here? Like, what is the dark plan?
It can't just be these are who these people are. That's not possible.
No, it's like, are they targeting? Is this like their play to get more children to watch? Like, what?
It's like, I can promise you, I've never thought about anything less.
What are you fucking talking about? That's what are they just talking about? Me yelling about me and Sean yelling about SNK.
Of course, it's definitely part of it. Yes, and it's like, oh my god, people are actually excited. Just fucking get over it. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, you're allowed to not like it. Whatever. The motivation thing is.
No,
the
you
weird
can
thing.
yell. Yeah. If you don't like it, that's fine. But don't be like, I think it's disgraceful how they're like trying to like be like edgy YouTubers now. Like, give me a break.
I'm just loud assholes.
Be excited about something. Mike.
Yeah, but anyways, we'll meet up somewhere and I'll beat you up if you complain about my yelling.
Yes, Sunday night sounds good. We'll figure something out. Yeah, we'll see how it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm. That was Glowworm. AK says Mike, as in R4, a Ridge Racer Type 4 fan. Have you ever tried Need for Speed High Stakes? Similar era and an amazing soundtrack. PC version is better. PS1 easier to get working. No, I've tried random Need for Speed games here and there. That series is so weird because I feel like it lacks an identity across its entire series. There's just so many Need for Speed games. And like there's very early ones that have a very different vibe. Then there's the open world ones that are a very different thing. There's these GameCube ones. I don't know which one's supposed to play. I don't even remember one called High Stakes, to be honest. So
yeah, I don't
like
either.
to check it out.
The undergrounds are like the undergrounds and then Most Wanted.
I like Underground Most Wanted. Yep. Hot Pursuit is very good.
That's it.
I had one on the GameCube I was playing. I think it was Underground 2, and it's wild because it is just an open world driving game on a console that's really not ready for that. Like it looks good, like fidelity wise, but its frame rate is atrocious. It's wild.
Because the other ones are more like serious, like it has Need for Speed
Yeah.
Porsche or something like that. So just play those.
Thank you for that 10th super chat, AK. Dcash114 says struggling with just play PC response would cost 1.5K to get some AAA perfection as PS5 on a 4K TV, or easier for a game journalist to justify with your job.
Of course.
No, yeah. I mean, I said that myself before. I said I get why people don't like to hear that.
Yep.
I understand, but I've just got for me, it's like because of everything that goes into it. That's just seems to be the avenue for me.
I also I can't help that I still think, regardless of all the caveats there, that it's still the right answer, because when I think about what the companies like saying, hey, we have to care about this so that we can support these ecosystems, make them feel good. You see what happens when Microsoft their motivations just changed slightly and everyone's freaking out. I don't want to have to be in that situation where I'm worried about the interest of these companies. So for me, PC's still better. If it's not for you, that's fine. But then what we said on last episode when me and Sean did it, that's fine. And you could still criticize these companies, but at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, am I arguing with a brick wall? And when is this the company's problem, and when is it my problem? And when should I decide that I have the power to move on to something that is going to be more what I want? I'm just saying the PC is there as an option, and for a lot of these complaints, I think if you could bite the bullet, the PC would be the answer. If it's not for you, though, still, after all that, I get it.
Yeah, and sorry to butt in a little bit, but since we talked about this a lot recently, Jeff, also there's a lot of misconceptions around PC gaming. One of them being that it costs you $1,500 to have a good game PC. Mm-hmm. No, it'll cost you a little bit more, but you can build a PS5 level PC for like $600 or $700. I am looking at those builds with PS5 level parts on PC Part Picker right now. It's about $600. You can get one with NVIDIA graphics card for around $700, and that'll get you DLSS, which will get you above console quality. So you will spend like a couple hundred more, but you get a lot more utility. You get a desktop PC that.
And I know no one ever wants to hear this, but like the games are cheaper. Like Steam sales are cheaper, significantly better than the summer sales from PlayStation. Like
there's like a learning curve to all of it that I think we need to sort of dispel the myths around. I know like Justin Davis over at IGN a while back, many years ago now, he just made a PC, put it under his TV, and was like, I spent like $100, $200 more, whatever it was, than a console. This is just my console now. That's what I use it for, because I don't want to think about it being my desktop PC. And he seemed to love that. So you can do that. I've done it. Jeff talked about his build. That was basically the same thing last time. Just it's different. And again, like we said last time, different is scary, but like there's a lot of misconceptions that we sort of need to break down.
And I get the mental block is still there.
It's getting less scary.
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting less scary. The ecosystem is becoming way more approachable for people that comes from consoles with Steam Big Picture and all that stuff. So like, don't be scared. Also, it can be even more cheaper if you go to the used market. Yes. This is gonna be a cliche, but look out like the Linus Tech Tips videos about this kind of stuff, about building PCs, about like checking the used market. Those are really good videos, and they will like point you to the right way.
And you can like skimp on the CPU, get an older generation i5, and you're almost certainly going to be just fine. Get the better GPU, or get a serviceable GPU and slowly upgrade over time, because you can do that with the PC. Yes. So
we get it. If you don't want PC at all, we get it. Just also don't try to like spread misconceptions that it is like super expensive or that is super difficult when there are easy tutorials. Like it's okay to not like something without sort of tearing it down.
It just is the answer to all of these problems in a lot of ways. That's why we say it. That's all.
Buy a GameCube.
QB board for $500.
Hexprof with their first super chat says PSSR, PSVR. Is this another thing they abandoned? Nah, I mean, because this is first off, PlayStation is making this, not like Sony proper, right? All right, and I mean, this is an internal hardware or software. I don't know what but it's a thing in the console. It's not hardware.
Right.
It's not a peripheral.
It's just like the checkerboard rendering. It's something that just becomes normally built into every single game, so you don't even notice it anymore. But yeah, it'll be there.
What's the next one here? Curry Douglas says, "Hey, Beat Boys, are you all hearing anything about the Switch 2 announcement happening next month? Wii Waggle is the worst. Mike is right. Yeah, I tell you what, you're not doing much to turn my opinion on the Wii and the Wii U around. God, I am just sinking into the lowest depths of Wii hater despair.
We have more Wii Waggle coming up this weekend, and I don't think that's going to change your mind either.
No.
I've heard what everyone else has heard.
Real quick, because Purified Storm has a super chat.
Yeah, please.
Also just says Switch 2 trailer in September ? Right.
That's
I mean, the questioner.
There's a lot of circumstantial evidence to suggest that. And, just kind of through the grapevine hearing that, some people in some places are expecting maybe something next month. Who knows? I don't know.
RDX Son of a Fett says, why are Sony exclusives good and Xbox One's bad? Wukong was money-hatted, but Sony says it's good. And so much for Series S holding up game releases.
I don't know. I didn't say it was good or bad. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't care. It is what it is.
It doesn't matter, but,
Also, it wasn't
money-hatted.
It just wasn't money-hatted. That's not how that went down. If something happened, it just wasn't money. I don't know exactly how it worked, but yeah. The only reason one's good and one's bad is when PlayStation does it, a lot of people seem to like it, and when Xbox does it, a lot of people yell at Xbox. And is that unfair? Yeah. What am I supposed to do about that? I don't know, man.
It is. It's pretty wild how little of a conversation there even was about Hellblade 2, huh? That just came and went.
I mean, it's just not that interesting.
It's just not that interesting. I think Indiana Jones, though, that seems to be very promising. People seem to be very excited. All right, that's it for now. The super chats, Jeff.
All right. Hell yeah, everybody. Thank you so much for all those super chats.
Thank you so much.
Very nice. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to do the Mount Rushmore of party games. We'll explain exactly what we mean by that.
And we'll read the rest of the super chats before the end of the show.
Yes, if you got any more super chats, send them in. We'll get to all of them. All right. You want to get right back into it, Mike, or you want to take a break?
Yeah. No, it's just good.
You had to set up the dock for the Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Oh, you got it already.
All right. Let's
in the thread. We had a thread with submissions.
Oh yeah, let me do that real quick. Let me see that. We're going to go quickly through the thread, everybody.
Yeah,
just fair warning.
We can scan it.
We'll scan
Mikey's
it.
fading.
Yeah, and I am getting more and more terrified of missing this flight tomorrow. So
that's the thing. See, everyone's like, "Oh, get some sleep." I'm like, I'm not worried about not getting sleep. It's like, wait,
I'm worried about waking up.
Worried about not waking up. Right?
Up.
Yeah,
exactly.
I cannot necessarily control what my body does when it hears an alarm at 3:30 in the morning or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. There it is. Let me go there. Podcast threads. There we go. Mount Rushmore party games. Okay.
Like that episode in Seinfeld with the marathon.
4 a.m. Chris. By the way, you never came and got the Xbox. I'm just gonna you got to use your key.
Why is this so way over there?
Oh, the key, like that Seinfeld episode when they lost it. The key.
Sorry, on my door.
I'm also fading out.
Chris is gonna knock on my door and windows. Why will you be up already? The key. Yeah, you got it. I'll get you a different key. Don't worry about it.
The key doesn't work. That's why.
Well, you should have came and got your Xbox before I left.
Why? Okay.
He's doing a LAN party.
Chris has a lot of shit going on. Okay, leave him alone.
Why are you don't defend Chris?
All right, almost good. I just gotta adjust this a little bit. There we go.
He's the one they call Chris Minotti.
All right,
one that makes you feel all right. All right,
we're good. I'm gonna bring us back in. And we're back. Let's do it. It's time to decide the Mount Rushmore of party games. Mike, I don't want this to just be, hey, it's got party in the title. It's Mario Party. Games that you would play at a party, period. That's the rubric here. That's all we're working with. What do you think?
I think Mario Party should be on there.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Do we want to just put Mario? Do we want to pick one?
I would just pick the first one, and people kind of know what we mean. I mean, It's Mount Rushmore, right? It is an importance thing too. So obviously, there's probably better ones to play now. But even so, we're playing the first Mario Party. That still sounds nice. That still sounds fun. Everyone can play it. You can get people involved. Or you get people who don't necessarily play a ton of games, and everybody understands Mario Party and has a good time.
I think that's right.
By the way, this is party games, as in games you play at a party, not just Mario Party likes. By the way, it's just for people to know.
Yep, that's fine. Now you said it with a different accent than what I just said, so now different people will hear it differently.
Wait, do you said that already? Oh, fuck.
There's guns in this game, Christian.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna go with this is Super Smash Brothers, which I think is a party game. But I think even you would agree it's fun to play at a party. I think, right?
Yeah. Now this one I would you don't just say normal Smash.
No, Melee. I think let's do that.
Melee or Ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with Melee. Yeah. I mean, I think that you throw that on 4 players. It's that and like kind of Mario Kart, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a second as well. But I just think anyone can hop in there with once all the chaos is happening and have a pretty good time. And it's the one where a party, but also just like, every weekend, me and my friends are hanging out during high school in the early 2000s, late 1990s, and we're having our party of like, there's 6 of us, and we're taking turns, and there's pizza, and that's the kind of party that this is, and I still think that's like one of the ideal games for that scenario.
Yeah. Okay. Jackbox party packs.
Yeah, Jackbox party pack. We just did this with my family, the like extended family up in Michigan. I plugged in the Steam Deck and I had a bunch of stuff ready to go, and we pretty much just played Jackbox because having your phone as the input, everyone just feels so like easily like, I can be a part of this, and they see everyone else playing, and people who are at first like, they're playing video games. Maybe, I don't know. No, but maybe we'll play later. Once they see everyone having fun, I'm like, just get your phone out. You could be on the next round. And by the end of the night, honestly, by the second round, everyone was playing. So, really ideal scenario for party
just
games.
A great game for any party.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Of course, we're on Twitch too.
I will go with Rock Band.
Yeah, it's gonna sing your own band.
Yeah, I mean, people like karaoke, and this is like ultimate karaoke in a lot of ways. And of course, then people who don't feel like they could sing well or are embarrassed to sing, they could do stuff as well because there's different instruments, obviously. And I think, and it's Rock Band instead of Guitar Hero specifically because of that, I think.
Worms Armageddon.
Ooh, I like that.
They just announced a remaster of that coming to Switch, although we already have Worms WMD on Switch, which, to my limited knowledge, seemed like that already anyways. But yeah, I think these Worm games are actually super fun in party settings, right? It's kind of turn-based. People are doing their things. It's tactical. It's not like that complex. People can jump in there. You do the thing where you get to name your team, so you can name them after your friends or something stupid like that. Just a very silly game. At least with me and my friends, Worms is something we like to do a lot.
Yeah, I really
Armageddon, right? Armageddon.
I don't. Okay, yeah, but I said I don't know how to spell it, so okay, I'll get rid of the E.
You know what? You're right, Jeff, and that was harsh of me.
No,
and I apologize.
It's fine. No, I think you're probably right. Like, there's a reason I didn't partake in the spelling bee today.
Who can he be if he lost? You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't lose though, so because that was my key. Is like, hey, I didn't lose the spelling bee. All right, let's see.
I'll tell you what. I almost fell out of my chair when Jay was going to disqualify Nikki because they didn't clarify that a letter should be capital.
I like that a lot. That was a very funny moment. That was way. I was like, the spelling bee, it'll be fine, whatever. It was incredible. There were so many great moments in there. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, Fogats chat says I was mad.
The chat was furious.
I bet a lot of people were shoot hot about that. That's great.
I was like half paying attention. I was kind of in a meeting, and I was just like, "Whoa, what's going on over here?"
Oh, that was good. All right, Wii Sports.
Gross.
Yeah,
but you're right though.
It's another one where anyone feels like they can play. Bowling is like an all-time classic, but then there's all the other games in there that like aren't quite as good as bowling for everybody, but they're still like a good time. And then you go back and you play more bowling. It's just all around a very fun time. Excellent. Okay, do you want to do one more, or should we get the input from the podcast producers?
I have some in mind, but let's get some input. Let's see if they cover them.
All right, let's see here. Let me make sure
I got some big ones here
up appropriately. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. Tommy Pencils. Tommy Pencil says, "Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Dry Twice." Is this the right one? Yeah, Mount Rushmore party game. It's a key party apparently that Tommy Pencils is having. Yeah, that's how you do it. Eden says, "Sports Friends." I think I have this, and I don't know if I've ever actually played it at a party. Is this the one with Johann Sebastian Joust?
No, but that sounds neat.
Have you played that before, or do you know what that is?
No, I thought you were just saying words.
Well, I am just saying words, but it is also the name of a game. That's the one you play with the PlayStation Move controllers, but you don't look at a screen. I think you just hear music, and the controllers are lit up. And as long as the music's playing, you can move. But once it stops, you have to stop, and then you try to get other people to move their move controller, so they lose. So you can kind of wave your other hand at them and stuff, and kind of like get in their face.
Okay,
that's
wild.
It sounds like a pretty good time. We should make that happen at like a bombathon if we ever do one again. All right. Bend7 says Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Definitely. Jackie G says Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I can maybe change Melee to Ultimate. What do you think, Mike?
I think at this point, sure. You can have
For a
more
party
than 4
game,
people.
yeah.
You can have more than 4 people playing Ultimate.
Okay, we'll do Ultimate. Chris 2K says WarioWare Move It, which actually is a pretty decent party game. I don't know if it's going to be a Mount Rushmore worthy, though. And honestly, if I was going to play a WarioWare at a party, it would probably be the Mega Party games for the GameCube.
The GameCube one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jamie H. Christmas Eve says Rock Band. Mr. Bowler says Jackbox Party Pack. So does Villain Mac. That was the TKO, the T-shirt design one, was the favorite of the family, and there's a lot of fun ones on there. Hosp says Overcooked, All You Can Eat. I like this one a lot, but I'm wondering what you think.
Never played these. I know people like these quite a bit. I just never had the opportunity.
Yeah, we should find an excuse to play that on Giant Bomb, because I have not played it since it originally came out, and I played it with Steph, and we had a good time. The Elden Ring Wolf 5 says Gang Beast. That's definitely a classic as well. Lenny Astro Dick Denver says Mario Party 2. The T-Money OG says Rock Band. Bench JC says Fortune Street. Did you ever play Fortune Street?
Like a little bit. I don't know if I ever played like more than a couple rounds, but I am intrigued.
Me too.
By it, especially now that I like Dragon Quest. Just the idea of Mario Dragon Quest Monopoly.
Yes,
whatever.
Sounds insane, yeah. Two-time champ Beefhammer says your favorite Shrek Super Party.
I think that's one of the few Shrek games I don't have for GameCube, actually.
Dr. Ryan says Mario Kart Double Dash. Yeah, I would probably put Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on there. And I think I still will.
At this point, I probably still would. That would be the Mario Kart representative. As much as I love Double Dash. I mean, it's hard to deny 8 Deluxe.
I get the appeal of Double Dash, and that's the one you could do LAN and have like 16 players, was it, or something like that?
Something like that. Something wild, yeah.
Input name here says, is this Halo over LAN?
This is Halo LAN Party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both of these you could like just plug into your college Ethernet port, right, and probably get LAN that way. That would be a good time.
It was a huge thing back then.
Breadfish says, Land StarCraft Party, and it's a picture of the 99 NBA champion Spurs celebrating on their way home on the plane, all playing on their laptops. I love this picture because the trophy is right there in the picture next to them as they play StarCraft. It's incredible.
It is incredible. I remember my brother, older brother, would have his friends come over, and like one would be on my brother would be on his computer. One would be on my dad's computer. One would bring like a laptop, and they would just be doing StarCraft LAN parties, whatever. Yeah,
I have enough computers laying around here that I'm like, we should get like a way to set up a LAN party here for the girls when they have like friends when they're older, and see if they wanted to do like Minecraft LAN parties. So I'm like, that's always in the back of my head. Osama bin Franklin says Wii Music.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, that's like if you want to be like the DJ for a party, of course. Everybody loves the Wii Music DJ at a party.
Yeah.
What, you don't agree with Osama bin Franklin?
I might have to step out of line on this one, I'm afraid.
10 out of 10 name, by the way.
Yes, Wii Music has been compromised to a permanent end. Screaming Madden says EA Sports Madden NFL 09 All Play Edition, which has the...
Look how happy Farve looks there.
Right, yeah, because he's getting ready to defraud the state of Louisiana. Don't worry, give it time.
Did you just say Farve?
It's a joke. I know his name's Farve.
I don't believe that for one second.
Brett Favre. He played for the purple team after this for a while.
That's exactly right. How can you argue with him, Sean?
Go.
What was that team called? I was gonna be like, I'll show you how much I know about football. I know the other team he played for, and I can't fucking remember that.
The Vikings. He also played for a third team.
The Jets? He played
Yeah,
for the Jets?
Yeah, there he is. All right. He's back alive, everybody.
I did it.
Adam GC says, Mary Kate and Ashley, Sweet 16, License to Drive. I'm not an expert on this one, Mike, so what do you think?
16? We're not as young as we used to be. I've never seen a game kill Dan Moore. Oh, my God. It was fucked up. We were maybe playing a mode that would never end.
Real quick, Divorce Cougar in chat says it's tough being a Jets fan. Have you heard this incredible fact? There's 4 teams in the NFC East, and where do the Jets rank in the number of division championships? Just guess.
Is it 5th
It's 5th. It's 5th because there used to be 5 teams, and one of the teams that left the division has more than the Jets. They're 5th out of 4. That fucking rules. Holy shit. All right.
Oh, that's so good.
TTK Graven says Sonic Shuffle. You ever play this?
God. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I know people hate it.
So upset.
Yeah.
Like just like Crash Bandicoot got a pretty decent Mario Party. Like, how hard could it have been? They fucked it up so bad with Sonic Shuffle. Huge disappointment.
We should play that for the next Blood Club at PAX.
We might.
Chaos Buckaroo says Wii Sports, right there with you. Stinky says Ultimate Chicken Horse. Is this one you've ever played?
No, never even heard of this one.
So this is one. It's a multiplayer platforming game where you take turns placing your platform, and you could do things like put a platform in a space where everyone can get easily to the end, or you could make the level more complicated to beat, so that maybe you're like, oh, I bet I can get over this, but I bet that person won't be able to. So you can get more points by being the only person to complete the level. It's a really good idea, and I actually discovered it watching Giant Bomb play it. We should maybe bring that back.
Those guys yell too much.
Yeah, God, gross. Weezeman says, is this the anime party?
Yeah, this is that game that depressed me.
Sweep the board and get very sad about it. The lady's arms getting ripped off. What is it?
Yeah.
Christian?
Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah,
Demon Slayer.
Ninja Party. Always Be Clothing / Corgi. Is this Mario Party DDR or Mario DDR?
That's Mario DDR for sure.
That's a DDR.
I think Rock Band has the music genre locked down pretty hard on this.
I agree. Terminal Crossing says Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which even with Scott the Woz in this picture, I'm afraid that's going to be a no.
I was watching an Ant Dude video yesterday. Scott the Woz, he somehow found his way in there too.
He finds his way into everything.
I think he's complaining about Hey Pikmin or something.
That sounds about right. Casual says Outlaw Golf 2 with the sexy golf lady.
God, that is just the most 2002 depiction of a rendered
form.
woman I've ever seen. That's just what a rendered woman would look like. Did you see that fucking clip from X-Play or whatever making the rounds today?
The one it was the review of which one was it?
It's the girl talking about Genji, and she says some rough things about Japan, about why we shouldn't care.
I've seen that before. Yeah, that's X-Play. Definitely said some shit about Japan, and it's like anytime people bring up like games journalists used to be racist against Japan, it's always fucking X-Play shit, and then like a couple other things.
Morgan Webb, can I say the thing she said at the end? Look, I can give you the hall pass. Go to town, Mike.
No, Mike, don't do it.
Yeah, Christian's right. I'm not gonna say it. It's bad.
You already have an incident with the Japanese. You just
the Japanese. Yeah, yep. It's like shocking. It's shocking she said that. She should not have. No one should have written those words. It wasn't that long ago. Oh my God.
Yeah. And the reality is, like someone else probably wrote the words because that's how those reviews worked on that show.
Oh, yeah.
But someone should have stopped saying those words. That's crazy.
It's wild.
Allie Miracle says Fusion Frenzy, as Bill Gates says, at least now I'll have plenty of time to play Fusion Frenzy on his that's him commenting on his divorce. Of course, that he definitely said that. That's real. Matt in the Rare Zinless Zone said Nidhogg, which just is incredible. This is one where the rounds can go on forever if the two people are evenly matched, and this is one of my favorite gaming moments ever. Is at the Bombathon playing this with Austin Walker and are just going back and forth. I mean, it felt like it went on for a half an hour. It was probably like 10 minutes, but it just was like not going to end, and it was very dramatic. So, very good time. I love that game. Let's see here. Freedom McLiberty Ball says Mario Party, and specifically Mario Party, where nobody wins, and Jeff had to leave. Bayleaf Moon says Pokemon Stadium 2. Is that a party game?
That's one of a bunch of mini games.
The mini
they
games.
both did.
Okay.
People like the mini games in them. I don't have quite as much affinity or nostalgia for them as some, but they're fun.
Is that game just straight up made by Game Freak?
I don't know.
It looks like it, and it's like, but that makes sense. They're good at making like a bunch of fun games, and you want to, so that makes sense. Their mini games would be good. Wardenclyffe says Towerfall Ascension.
I was wondering if Towerfall would get mentioned.
Yeah, Towerfall is definitely like that. Well, if you know party game. At least it was at one point.
It's super fun.
It's great.
I like it a lot. It's very easy for people to play. I mean, my younger brother was an Ouya backer, so I remember like that's the one time we had fun with it. Like we were all over when Forbes was playing Towerfall. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty great.
Mex says Ultimate Chicken Horse. Hammond of Texas says LAN parties with Half-Life Counter-Strike. Yes, that's definitely a good time. Symbiosis says GoldenEye 007, which I definitely feel that. I had some great times playing that game at parties. Let's see here. Octo says We Dare for the Nintendo Wii. Flirty Fun for All is the subtitle for the Ubisoft game We Dare. It's the Mount Rushmore of dumb Wii commercials, maybe, he says. HLS says Conker's Bad Fur Day. That had a multiplayer mode on Xbox, right? Or is this just like a fun thing to play because everyone will laugh? What?
I think it might have on N64 also even. There was some kind of thing. I don't know.
This is good art here, though.
Great Mighty Pooh.
Paper Zoob, the 6 p.m. Pacific Door, says Just Dance.
Yeah, if it's a party of all 6-year-olds, maybe.
Tell you what, 6-year-olds fucking love Just Dance.
Hey, you can't get enough of
And they don't even
Just
play the game. They just watch YouTube videos of these dances, and they feel like they're playing. That's all you need. So maybe not a great strategy for them. Daniel says, I can never remember the 50 great games in one. Nintendo Clubhouse games.
Othello.
Yes, Othello and more. Yes, Clubhouse games. I don't know if this is a party game as much as it's like lay in bed with your wife and like pass it back and forth kind of games, which is how I played that. We used to play Yahtzee before bed. Yahtzee before the Yahtzee. Big Tony, the Final Fantasy guy, says everybody 1-2 Switch.
I wonder how many copies that game sold. I mean,
it's probably
Concord, I guess.
Yeah, Jesus. It's probably the worst performing first party Nintendo game on the Switch, right?
Probably. Yeah, it almost has to be, huh?
That can go on the Mount Rushmore forgotten Nintendo Switch first party games. We'll do that one eventually. JD Camp says Worms Armageddon.
That's the first Worms, man. Worms. They really they got a redesign starting in Worms 2 that sure was beneficial.
Yeah, these Worms fucking suck. Actually, I hate looking at these guys. They're worms with noses is just a bad idea.
I'm impressed somebody else brought up Worms though. It's not just me. I guess.
I thought it was a really good call. I'm like, oh yeah, I would love doing that.
Worms is great at parties.
Adam Juice says Snowboard Kids 2, which did have a great 4-player mode. People really enjoy that. Postman Dan says LAN Party Halo, Halo Combat Evolved.
My thing with like LAN parties, like those are parties specifically just about that one thing, right?
I tend to agree with
count.
You. Yeah,
you know what I mean, though.
Yeah,
but like we're just getting together to play this game.
I think there's a chance that like maybe one LAN game could get on there, but I think it's a long shot. We'll discuss it once we kind of get out of all this. Willow Davis says WarioWare Smooth Moves. And Laser Wolf says Guitar Hero World Tour. B says Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Yeah, split screen. Yeah.
One of the Call of Duty split screen. I do remember playing Call of Duty 2 split screen a surprising amount because when it was an Xbox 360 launch game.
Let's see. Christian says International Superstar Soccer 64.
No, winning 11.
Okay. We eventually would come winning 11. Turbo Sean says Mario Kart Wii.
Oh, wait. If this thing was made only by Argentinians, it will be winning 11 3 times and like Rock Band or Guitar Hero.
Okay, good to know.
I'm surprised how little Mario Kart came up. I thought that was kind of our biggest omission at the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's. I'm going to still add Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I don't think anyone said.
Nobody specifically said 8 Deluxe, but I'm like, you sure you don't mean that one?
Yeah.
Or like the Mount Rushmore is why I put Wii, because that's the one that really like broke into the casual audience for everyone.
You're right. It was. You're right. It was massive. It was the first truly massive Mario Kart.
Was there anything else from the list?
I feel like there was, but I'm like struggling to remember. And that doesn't mean it's not worthy of a list. I have a terrible memory.
Yeah, maybe check and yell at us, but like I saw like affirmations about Rock Band and Jackbox.
Yes,
for sure. Halo again, like the LAN party aspect of Halo. That's not necessarily what I'm really thinking about.
Yeah, right. And I like as much as like Halo, I think GoldenEye is very similar to what Halo did in terms of like people are like we're all getting together to play this game this weekend. And while I agree that Halo is superior as a game to play, yeah, GoldenEye was very similar in how I felt about that. And I still think
nobody said No Mercy.
Yeah, those N64 wrestling games would be great for this sort of thing. Yeah, Towerfall and Nidhogg. I'm going to like at least consider Towerfall. Nidhogg is like is incredible. It's probably not going to make the list. Ooh, Spider-Heck's a good one that people should definitely play, but not going to make the list.
Towerfall. No one brought up Castle Crash, which is maybe not. That's pretty good for that, I think.
Yeah, those are that's probably the best beat 'em up party game. Beat 'em up. Okay, here's what we have, audio listeners: Mario Party, Super Smash Brothers. I'm going to change that to Ultimate. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yep, that's right. Ultimate, Jackbox Party Pack, Rock Band, Worms Armageddon, Wii Sports, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Towerfall. I think we probably have our answer here. Let me Bomberman. I definitely would enjoy Bomberman, but
yeah, that didn't come up. Back in the day, I think absolutely, but I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of us being the olds now.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Gang Beast is definitely one that people can have fun with at a party. That's one we also played up in Michigan, and we played that for a few rounds. What happens with that is like the kids want to play that real bad, and the adults are like, just let the kids play. And then when Jackbox was on, that was one to like, no kids, just relax, let us play, and that was interesting to see. So, yeah, I think that for sure we're going to move Mario Party up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I think that's a gimme.
That's a gimme. And then I think the rest is kind of up in the air. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, like I don't want to do a thing where I just put like the 3 Nintendo games up there, the 3 popular multiplayer Nintendo games.
Yeah,
even to make some sense, like because there's other ones that are gimmies. Honestly, like Rock Band probably a gimme.
I think Rock Band's probably a gimme. Like if you were like if someone came to you and said, "Hey, we need 4 games for a party, and we want to make sure they're going to be the broadest possible like hits with the audience, when we don't necessarily know who's coming, but so you still have to put together this list." I would put Rock Band on that list. I think 100 out of 100 times. So
yeah.
I
think even Jackbox honestly makes a lot of sense.
I think that this list doesn't make sense without Jackbox these days. I think that is again a same exact scenario where and a huge part of that is just the interface, the fact that people can get their own phone out and play, and they don't have to feel good at games. It's like, hey, come up with a list of 50 random phrases really fast, and that's going to be useful for this game. People love that stuff. It's real good. So that leaves us with Mario Party, Rock Band, Jackbox Party Pack on our list right now. We have 1 slot left for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Worms Armageddon, Wii Sports, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Towerfall. And I think we can consider this the Teddy Roosevelt. So if you want to get a little bit wild with this one, I'm okay with that. Because I think you're probably right that I don't know if I want to put Smash Brothers or Mario Kart up there, Mario Kart 8 up there to take a slot on the Mount Rushmore.
I can see Mario Kart.
Smash
Brothers, yeah, Smash Brothers is a little bit weird for me just because again, Maze is my own problem with it, but like so many people want different things from Smash Brothers that it's not necessarily an automatic crowd pleaser the way that just putting Mario Kart on for people is, right?
Yeah, I think Mario Kart definitely goes on before Smash Brothers for the reasons you said. Yeah.
But part of me is it's like I think Worms is an interesting choice. There's part of me that feels like that. It also feels get yelled at for.
Yeah,
for sure.
but it also feels like it's different in the right way. I love the idea of it's a party. You don't just want to be playing games. So here's a pass the controller game. So if you want to get up and do your thing and go to the bathroom and get a drink, well, we'll call you when it's your turn. I love that.
It's like Sean asked, do people actually play Worms in person? It's interesting to me because I never even thought about it as an online game. Like, I've only ever played it couch multiplayer.
Yeah,
that's the controller kind of thing.
I think when we would rent it for the various versions that would come out on N64 and other consoles, that's how we would play it like one of the party games. It would be right there in the mix with GoldenEye and WWE or WWF, now, No Mercy, and all that.
Maybe even still, I'm like feeling it's like a little ambitious over.
It is
like a Wii Sports or a Mario Kart. Honestly, like there's a point where it's like, oh gosh, Mario Kart 8 is played probably at so many parties.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the reality is this is probably Mario Kart 8.
It's probably actually just Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
All right, I'm glad we talked about it.
I really liked entertaining Worms.
Yep, me too.
Worms is, you know what? No, Monkey Ball never came up, but those games are always fun at parties, man.
Absolutely.
Monkey Target, let's go.
Yep, that's a great time for the same reason as well. It's just one where people can hop in real quick, have a good time with. I think this is probably right. So
I think you put Smash instead of Mario Kart
I did.
up there.
Thank you. Yes, I was looking away. Let me do that real quick. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There we go. Okay, so Mario Party, Rock Band, Jackbox Party Pack, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for our Mount Rushmore party games. Mike, does that sound good?
Looks great to me.
All right, well, we'll post the list. That is locked in. Fantastic. All right, everybody, I'll get that posted to Twitter. Have people yell at us. Okay, what we're going to do now, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. If there's any more super chats, we'll definitely get to those, and we'll talk about what we've been playing right after this.
Break. It's not a real party until some kids cry because they lost on Winning 11.
Oh, of course, yeah. God.
It's just...
Winning 11 was good.
I'm good to go right back to it.
Me too. Let me just post this. All right, let's do it. All right, we're back. Mike, what have you been playing?
Somebody should go on Dan's stream right now and tell him this Mount Rushmore. I want to know what he says.
Oh, yeah, it's a good idea. Absolutely.
Dan's streaming right now.
How many people does he have watching?
Oh, 290.
Tell him we have twice as many people watching us, and that they should all come over there. They should be embarrassed, and they should come over here instead.
Post the link to the YouTube video on the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. Yeah, I want to see his response or hear his response. That'd be great. All right, Mike, what have you been playing?
It has been a lot of Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, really.
Same here.
I've been super happy to have that. I want to play Modern Warfare. I just want to go through all of those. People seem really... I played a little bit of the remake of Haunted Castle on there. People seem very happy with that.
Yeah, I can't wait to try that out for the same reason. People seem very excited about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like we got a new classic Castlevania game again, right? Because it's like a full remake. So definitely want to do more of that. Yeah, just been super happy to have those collections. I was able to start the World of Warcraft expansion, real behind on that with the travel. I definitely want to delve deep into that when I get back. There's so many things I want to play and so many things coming out. It's kind of crazy, but it is nice to just have these Castlevania games here. That's real easy. Yeah,
I'm doing the same thing. I'm playing Dawn of Sorrow, and I can't stop playing it, but I am feeling a little guilty because it's like, okay, a guy got like an email from Devolver or their PR, like, here's a list of games that have come out soon. It's like Scroll with the Guns coming out, and
that's what Dan's playing right now.
Oh, really? Yeah, and there's a handful of others that are like coming out back to back. I'm like, all those sound pretty interesting. And there's that Monster Jam game I want to just try. And these are like the games that are like I'm just like interested in seeing what they're like. Let alone I want to put in another 10 hours into Star Wars Outlaws, and there's we're going to get Astro Code here in the next 2 weeks.
I haven't started Outlaws, and I want to, and it's like, missing the zeitgeist.
Yep, so it's like I'm starting to feel pretty overwhelmed, and like I know there's games coming down the pipeline that are just going to completely take over my life. So it's getting out of hand, but Dawn of Sorrow is so goddamn good. I also just love...
It's so good.
I mean, obviously, Metroidvania stuff, but it's also the fourth in this line of, like, Game Boy and DS ones, let alone Symphony of Night. But, like, Symphony of Night is, like, its own thing, like, up there on a pedestal. These are, like they get a little bit more playful with these, and this is the fourth one, so they're like... What's the upgrade path going to be in this one? Like, are we going to give you the double jump right away? It's like, well, here's the thing that makes you float for a little bit. And it's like, they've definitely messed around with that in the other ones.
What if you throw a puppet and then you swap places with the puppet?
Right,
That's how you get through small gaps in the wall.
And it's like, that's fantastic. Because we, like, if you have been playing these games, you're so familiar with the formula. Every little tweak feels like a randomizer in some ways. And it's, I don't know. It's just interesting to see how they play around with that. I feel like I am in conversation with the people making the game as I play it, which is always a great feeling to have for me. But yeah, other than that, I have been playing a little bit more Star Wars Outlaws. I've been trying to get a lot of these games up and running on the Steam Deck. A lot of them are kind of early, so it's like they aren't running great. So I did get the Ally out and got Star Wars Outlaws running on there now, and then really what I've been doing was spending time getting the PS5 so I can stream it to my Steam Deck this weekend, and that's what I've mostly been doing. I don't know, anything else from you?
That's really it, Jeff. Again, a lot of stuff to think about here.
Yep. All right, let's do these super chats and let's get the hell out of here, Mike.
Street Shadow says, I have a top-line PC, but still play primary on console, but I like that PC and console exists because it gets options. I don't want a PC only future. Yeah, I think it's important to still have consoles, whatever form that's going to take, for sure.
I PC only future. I don't think anyone's advocating for that. Maybe some people are, but that's not what we're saying. I just like PC is the safe option if you are worried about the motivation of these corporations. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, and for me, it's just like I find consoles as unexciting as I ever have at the moment.
Yeah, it feels a little bit Switch. Like smartphones in a lot of ways, where it's like I remember when that used to be entertaining and interesting, and I would care. I never bought an Apple phone, but I'd still watch all the Apple events. Can't wait to see what they're going to do next. And now it's like it's all the same shit.
Mm-hmm. Dcash14, who first talked about console, not wanting to just get a PC, said, follow up, you may have convinced me to just play PC. Might start saving, reconvincing my wife to build PC for next gen. Thanks for what you do. It's all good to guess, but do what you want to do.
Never mind.
I mean, do what you want to do. There's pros and cons to these things.
Pros and cons.
If you have a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, you still have access to a ton of great video games, more than enough to keep you busy.
Yeah, exactly. Don't feel bad about your choices. If you're happy playing what you're playing, that's all we're saying. Like, do the thing where you're happy. And then if you begin to have problems and it's like, hey, I've criticized this company and they're not changing, then maybe look around. If that's where you're at, I do recommend the PC. I'm going to be very happy mostly playing on my Steam Deck, my PC, and the Switch 2 in the next 5 years, I think. And then occasionally playing the exclusives on PlayStation and I guess maybe on Xbox if that ever happens again.
Yep. All right. That's it.
I think we got one more from Brono Trigger right now.
My bad. Brono Trigger says the ABC station in Philly just posted a story about an entire school that had to be closed because a thriving honeybee colony moved in. Coincidence?
Bee-week!
Hell no, Brono.
Let's fucking
Happy
go!
Bee-week. We did it.
And I will yell, let's fucking go as many times as I want. You guys just fucking deal with it.
Let's fucking go, you fucking millennial zoomers.
I'm yelling, let's fucking go to bees taking over a school. That's what we do here, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Mikey, I'm going to hit the button.
Please do.
There's that. Actually, I think the channel's muted. Let me turn that up. Here we go.
That happens sometimes. See my new enchanted Hearthstone fucking Lorcana card? Look, it's Vanellope von Schweetz from the new set.
Oh, that's
only
great.
My second enchanted. Very excited.
Very excited. All right, Mike. This weekend, we're going to both be at PAX. In fact,
guess we have to hang out. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly. At least we'll be able to hang out, do some fun stuff. You guys could try to make me watch noobs, and I'll avoid that where possible.
I don't really have any appointments, which is kind of nice.
I got the appointment with the stuff we want to see, and then beyond that, no.
Could I'll just tag along?
Yeah, just come along with that.
Just start whatever you want to see. I want to see. So
yeah, yes, you want to see those. So yeah.
Is it Monster Hunter Wild showing on PAX?
I don't know. But Mike, I don't know why. Did you just see it at Gamescom?
Yeah, they were just at Gamescom. I don't know why they wouldn't just ship that booth over, honestly, but...
Right. Let's see. Some people chat say going to be at PAX on Saturday. First time. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. Hey, if you are planning to go, we'd really appreciate if you pinned in our panels and stuff. So that's Saturday at 2 p.m. Saturday at 2 p.m. and Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Both in the Blue Dragon Theater. So get lined up for those. Hang out with us. It'll be a fun time. I don't know. Beyond that, though, when I get back home, I might take some time off and try to play some games. Yeah, Blue Dragon. Microsoft's Blue Dragon. You're a huge Blue Dragon fan, right? Actually, isn't Lost Odyssey? Is that the one people like?
Everybody likes Lost Odyssey. Blue Dragon is not as fondly remembered, or as well regarded at the time, even. Actually.
Right.
Yeah, but I bet it's interesting to play Blue Dragon these days.
You gonna bring any games this weekend? You gonna play anything?
Just my Switch.
Just the Switch. Is that where you're playing Castlevania?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I should.
Yeah, it works great there.
Yeah, I kind of want to play that on there, but we'll see. I did get a code for Dark Forces on the Switch, and I'm like, I played like half of that on the Steam Deck. Maybe I'll just start over on the Switch because I like that game so much. Yeah. I don't know. There's so much to play.
There is. Those games are always fun to just, when you know what you're doing, to go through again. It's nice.
Exactly. All right, everybody. See you this weekend. Hopefully, if not, we'll see you next time. Those things should be streaming, though, those panels. So watch us online as well, everybody. Have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
All right, Jeff. Let's do each other here.
Okay. Hardware in the rear.
I'm trying to put it in there.
Jesus Christ.
I wasn't ready for that. Holy shit. People shouldn't drink water.
Bye, everybody.